Hello everybody, this is Yevgen from OWOX, a team of professionals who believe in making better marketing decisions and business decisions based on data. And I want to welcome you guys on today's training. I hope you are doing well today. And to make sure you guys can see me, my screen here, and that you can hear me, please type into the chat whether you can see me or hear me. If you can see my slides here on the screen, that would be awesome. And before we begin, let me know what you guys are doing. Please tell me whether you are a marketer or whether you are a data professional. Maybe you're responsible for traffic acquisition in the company, or you are a startup founder. Whoever you are, please type in your job title or the position or your role in the company into the chat. This is going to be really nice. This is going to be cool. And also, please block everything that is going to be distracting you for the next 30 or 40 minutes or so, and I promise I'm going to make it worth of your time. We're going to be running fast and covering a lot of really cool things today, and I hope it's not going to be boring for you. Thank you for attending this live training, because today we're going to talk about mastering the marketing KPIs, how to evaluate the marketing performance, and actually a lot of really cool things here as well. Now, there are really three core problems that most marketers actually face when it comes to data analytics. All right? One is there is no clear analytics roadmap. Many marketers have no idea kind of what they should be doing in terms of measuring and optimization, advertising, website performance, user behavior, etc. Two, there chaotic reports. If you're a marketer, if you're a C-level, maybe you got some reports, and maybe you even have some tools that you use to be able to check those reports. But you probably have no idea what it means and what you're supposed to do with it, with the data that is shown in those reports. Or you don't even know how to build those reports. And most likely those reports are done in the different tools, CRM for the sales data, advertising platforms for basically managing the ads, Google Analytics for user behavior, SEMrush or Ahrefs for SEO data, and this kind of stuff. And then you understand that your marketing and revenue are actually not connected because you're using different tools to understand the data that should be connected. And the third thing that most of the marketers actually struggle with is what I call the random acts of marketing, or the random marketing efforts, which is where a lot of people actually start, which is that you are just trying different stuff. You're trying to show that ad, this ad, but it's not really data-driven. It's not really because that your audience or the users are asking you to do so. It's because you're just guessing. So, should we change the headline? Should we change the offer? Or should we change the entire funnel? Should we run a webinar? Should we change the ad creatives? I don't know. Let's try something. And it's just random acts of marketing. You're not using the power of data that you have to optimize your marketing performance. And what we're going to be talking about today is actually about the problem number one. We're going to be fixing the analytics roadmap challenge. The way you solve this is with having the right plan, having the analytics roadmap in place. This is unfortunately the thing a lot of people skip because they don't realize that they should have a plan, and they don't. So there are really three big frustrations around planning. One, people are not sure what the questions they're supposed to be asking. They are aware of the metrics to measure, of the data to collect, to be able to measure those metrics, kind of three things in one here. But what are the metrics? How to measure and where to get the data for those metrics? Number three, they are unprepared to take actions at all based upon the information they get. Right, so there are the three big frustrations here. And now we're going to flip this around. So your goal should be that you are asking the right questions, that you are absolutely aware of what metrics you should be measuring to get the answers, and you are prepared to take actions based on the answers you get. And today we're going to be talking about those three things, about the right questions to ask, about the most important KPIs for digital marketing, and about the actions you should take when you get all of those answers to those questions. Now, who is this training for? This training is basically for everyone who's running an e-commerce team or a marketing team, or who's a web analyst helping marketers to get the most out of their data. So people like startup founders, C-level executives, digital marketing, finance leaders, or data professionals who are trying to understand how each element of the digital marketing funnel of the sales funnel is actually performing and how those influence one to another, and also how the overall business is performing, not only the specific campaign with a specific goal or specific objective. So in case you've never heard of me or our company before, here is a quick introduction of who we are. My name is Yevgen, and I am the marketer at OWOX. We help companies from e-commerce, retail, fintech, and SaaS industries, and actually many other businesses, to close the loop between marketing and revenue. In OWOX, we believe that every decision maker has to deal with data freely. Neither software nor analysis should be a bottleneck for a marketing strategy and execution. And over the last 5 years, we have provided almost 2,000 companies from 50 countries across 23 different industries with all-in-one marketing analytics platform to make fully informed, data-driven marketing decisions. Our track record of success is the reason why international brands like SEMrush, PandaDoc, or Bank actually came to us for help with their data analytics. With this being said, let's dive right in. Let's tackle the questions first. So because this is how you move from being unsure of what questions to even ask to being absolutely sure of what you're supposed to be asking. What questions should you ask? There are two types of questions, results and how questions. You should have to ask results questions, and then you have to ask the how questions. That's it. Now, one day we're gonna be talking about this specifically in a specific webinar about asking the right questions, but now I just want to give you a high-level picture. So the changes you go through your marketing level, and as you improve your own skills, as the company grows, you'll ask the different questions and different results questions, different how questions, and we'll talk about those separately, but just a high level. Results questions are what they sound like. If you were a lead generation company, and you're probably going to be asking the question like, how many leads are you getting? How many leads is your website or your sales funnels is getting? And if you are revenue selling products or services like an e-commerce website, so the results that I'm asking is sort of the owner level of the main marketer, the person in charge of marketing is kind of what is the revenue, all right? Or how many transactions? That's easy, right? But that's very important because that helps to answer one of even more important questions. What's my paid return on the ad spend? What that even means? And the most important question when it comes to marketing performance is how much can I actually spend on ads? But before we get into the answer, let's talk about the how questions. And if you think about the how questions are all, how did I get those results? This is the part of questions that people don't realize they should be asking. They skip the hows, they get the results sometimes because they are kind of the obvious ones. But they miss those how questions. This is very important. Is this landing page even doing its job to sell? Because it cannot sell in most cases. That's just a landing page. It's created to drive traffic to the checkout page, to the cart. So are you measuring for that? Is the cart doing its job? Because it cannot technically build the value. It's supposed to, you collect the payment and so it's doing its job, right? The job that it has to do. This is all about the user behavior, actually. So results and how, that's really what it comes down to. Questions. Now let's talk about metrics, all about the information. And we're going to move from unaware to being aware of the information. So when you are thinking about marketing, there's ultimately two goals that you have when trying to evaluate the performance. And the first thing is called the customer acquisition cost. And we're going to talk about what this is, but it's basically about the advertising that you spend to get one new customer to buy for the first time. So you should be focused on these metrics, of course, overall for your business, but also by each individual channel in particular. The second thing that you are trying to understand is all about the customer retention or the customer lifetime value. So this basically represents how many times on average the customer buys and what's the average check over the lifetime of this relationship with your brand. So most customers will buy a series of times over and over and over again. So you're trying to basically understand how much one customer will be worth in the future after they buy for the first time. So let's jump into part number one, and it's understanding the customer acquisition cost. overall and by each channel specifically. So let's start out with talking about the best ways to visualize how digital marketing works, which is basically something that we call the marketing or sales funnel. And so this is kind of what it is right here. This is supposed to be a funnel. This is always the best way to talk about marketing, is to show the funnel. So with a funnel, things come in the top, and then a very small amount comes out of the bottom. So there are basically three those zones, or sort of essential elements of the funnel. So there is the top of the funnel, where is generally where we do things related to brand awareness. So we're reaching out the new audience, random folks, for the first time. So these are the new leads, prospects, or contacts that you contacted for the first time. Then basically you try to get them into the mid-funnel, which is where they are figuring out if they want to buy the stuff from you. So you're building a relationship with them, moving them closer to conversions. So this is what we call the consideration phase for the customer. And then the bottom of the funnel is conversion, which are purchases. So this is where we try to convince them to buy your product or services. Sometimes with discounts, sometimes with just making it really easy. We try to remove the friction for them to finally make that purchase. And so the funnel itself represents the process of getting people from prospects who don't even know the company to purchasers, which are clients of the company. And so funnels are really different depending on the business. It also depends, for instance, a business with a very high price may have a very long sales funnel, where the customer needs to think about it for many months before they actually buy, like software as a service, or high-ticket coaching, or plastic surgery, for example. But a business with a very low price product, it could happen that the most of conversions actually happen immediately because that's the top of the funnel and it's really close to the bottom of the funnel. Okay, so here is an example of marketing channels by funnel, and this would be like an e-commerce store or retail business with a relatively low average order value. And again, any of those channels could be in any part of the funnel. It depends on what the business is, what you're selling, what tools are you using, etc. But let's say we're an e-commerce business with a low-priced product. The top of the funnel for a lot of these small businesses is just Facebook and Instagram ads. Those are pretty much the same, so let me just name it all as Facebook ads here, just for simplicity. You anyway manage them from one tool, right? That's where you're going to find people who don't know about your product, your brand, and you're going to get in front of them and try to start interacting with them. This could be an awareness-related stuff, because remember, the top of the funnel is all about the brand awareness. So this could be events, this could be PR, this could be television, whatever it is. So you're trying to hit those new people for the first time. And then, for example, for our example business, let's say the mid-funnel is email. So let's say that first time you've been able to capture their email somehow, just a pop-up or the card or registration, whatever it is. So now you're sending them the information about your company. Maybe you're telling them a great story. Maybe you're sending them a discounts, whatever it is. So you're trying to move them closer to do a conversion. And then for a lot of businesses, bottom of the funnel is Google ads or Bing ads or LinkedIn ads. Let's just not overcomplicate things here, and let's just focus on the Google ads here. We're not gonna be talking about the strategy here, just about the simple numbers. And the way that Google ads work is there's a lot of different types of Google ads, but the main ads are called search ads. So people either search for your company itself, the name of the brand, or the exact product that you are selling. Maybe not the name of your company, but they're searching for your product, okay? So then you show them the ad and try to either bring them to your product website. So those are people are called like high intent customers because they are at the bottom of the funnel already, and they are trying to buy what you're selling. They are particularly searching for the things that you sell. So this are kind of bottom of the funnel activities. And again, there's a lot of different channels that would be at the bottom of the funnel: LinkedIn ads, Bing ads, maybe even TikTok ads, and we'll get there in a bit later. But think about the moment of a conversion. You're trying to find that customer, you want to sell them stuff. So again, I just want to redefine the customer acquisition costs. This is for sure the most important metric in all of digital marketing. So the customer acquisition cost, we call it the CAC. It's the total advertising spend to get one customer to buy for the first time from you. And so why is that important? Well, if you think about the customer, let's say an e-commerce business like an apparel store, let's say you get a customer. They come to your website or app for the first time, and then they buy something. That customer, if they have a good experience, will probably go back to your e-commerce store website many times, really many times, dozens of times over the next 5 years. And so all of those additional times, do they need to be advertised to come back over and over again? Well, not really, or not as heavily as getting them for the first time. But almost all of it will be spent to get people to come to that e-commerce website for the first time, to have that first experience. And it's the same with almost any business, basically. You know, almost all of the paid marketing happens to try to get people to make that first purchase. Some marketing will go to returning customers. You're going to be heavily retargeting them with similar products in the future, but trust me, that's going to be nuts compared to the customer acquisition cost. But most of it is going to do the first purchase. Going to go to the first purchase. So that's why we're so laser focused on something that we call the customer acquisition cost. So the customer acquisition cost expectations. So let's think about the funnel. So the top of the funnel is always going to have the highest customer acquisition cost. And that's kind of obvious because let's say you are marketing to people who don't know about you or about your brand. Well, you're going to have to market to a lot more people to get one of them. Basically through your funnel or to get one of them to purchase, because those people are cold. They don't know who you are, they don't know your brand, so you're going to have the highest customer acquisition cost at the top of the funnel. The mid funnel is kind of a little bit lower because those people already sort of know something about your brand, they've shown more interest already, and then at the bottom of the funnel is going to have the lowest customer acquisition cost because these are the very few prospects who you've gotten all the way through your funnel and are basically ready to buy. And you're just trying to push them over the edge. You're trying to convince them one more time, overcome some of their objections so they can finally buy from you. So these different parts of the funnel are not really comparable to each other, but generally you'll see this on the numbers. In top of the funnel marketing channels, you'll see the very high customer acquisition costs. And at the bottom of the funnel, you'll see the very low customer acquisition cost. And this is natural, and this is what you should expect. And let's call it a case study, but I'm going to call it a very common situation in the e-commerce that we see almost in every single company. So let's say you're looking at the marketing channels, and whoever looking at this, the head of marketing, the head of finance, the web analyst, or the C-level, whatever, they're not thinking about the funnel. They just look at the Facebook ads, and they're like, wow, our Facebook ads are crazy expensive. We're losing money on every order that we are able to get through Facebook advertising, right? But then Google is crushing it every time. You know, the cost of customer acquisition cost is super low on every order. We are so profitable. Again, it might be Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever the platform is. I'm just showing you an example of the two different channels. All right? So the question is, should we turn Facebook ads off and increase the budgets for Google ads? And many companies do this, and they find out that it's not as simple as this because Facebook actually complements Google. Facebook at the top of the funnel, Google at the bottom of the funnel. And I've seen the same thing over and over again. So it's pretty obvious what's going to happen to me now because let me just show you all this. So here is an example dashboard which looks at the paid advertising channels. So I specifically say this paid because paid are the channels where you pay money to do the advertising. But there's also organic channels which are places that you do marketing for free. So that could be through search engines, that could be through email, that could be through other stuff. But we're just looking at our paid channels like Facebook and Google because they're basically the advertising channels that make up 75% or more percent of all the advertising of almost all of the companies. And so just to be simple. And there are this is kind of the most important. So first of all, you'll see me talk about the ROAS. ROAS is an acronym for something that's called return on the ad spend. And how you calculate this is you look at the total revenue and you get from those ads that you were driving and you divide it by the spend. And then the customer acquisition cost is the total spend divided by the number of transactions that happened, the number of orders. And I'm going to give you a quick example of the sample data here. So here is the return on the ad spend for Facebook ads is just 22,000 in revenue that you drove through Facebook ads divided by 10,000 that you spent on Facebook ads. The ROAS is 2.2 or 220%. So it's a ratio of how efficient your ads are driving the revenue. So let's say we have the business, we were running a business in month one, let it be May. We spent a total budget of $15,000. We drove 52,000 through Facebook and Google together. The paid ROAS was 3.5, as you can see in the template, in the spreadsheet here. So we drove 740 purchases through Facebook and Google. And the paid customer acquisition cost is the spend divided by those paid purchases. So it's cost us $20 on average to get someone to buy between those two channels. But if we zoom in one of the channels, you see that we spent 10,000 on Facebook, the ROAS is only 2.2, and the ROAS on Google is kind of 6, and we spent only $5,000. And you see that the customer acquisition cost in the last column here on Facebook is 29, and on Google is just 12. And I'm not saying Google is better. Those are just random numbers here to show you how it works. I'm just trying to illustrate this. The situation here is that we see very, very, very commonly. And so the CEO is looking at the dashboard or report and says, okay, so if you have the situation like this, let's probably cut back the Facebook spend and let's boost Google spend, without realizing that Google clients, the clients that are being converted through Google Ads channel, a lot of them actually came from Facebook ads. So if we say exactly what our CEO says to do, if we do this exactly, what we do is we cut the Facebook ads, and like we took $2,000 from Facebook ads, now it's 8 versus 10 before, and we've added $3,000 to Google, now it's $8,000. And altogether, we've increased the revenue. The ROAS for Facebook stays the same. The overall ROAS is actually even higher a bit. It's 3.6 now. But you know what happens? The ROAS for Google actually went down from 6 to 5. The customer acquisition cost for Google ads actually went up from 12 to 18. So, look, Google is still outperforming Facebook by a lot. It's like 5 versus 2.2. The customer acquisition cost is lower. So what do we do next month? Well, let's increase Google again. Let's decrease the Facebook. So Facebook is going to be $7,000. Google is going to be $12,000. So, and what you see here is the revenue still goes up. At the same time, the return on the ad spend goes down, and the customer acquisition cost goes significantly up, from 12 for Google Ads in May to 18 in June to 25 in July. And now, if you can see that the customer acquisition cost on Google became even higher than on Facebook. So you keep thinking, well, you should just allocate more money on Google Ads and just remove something from Facebook ads. That happens. And so again, this is why you can't look at each channel and compare it to other channels and say, okay, you know, if Google is working better than Facebook, let's spend more on Google. You need to understand that the marketing is complex. Facebook brings customers into your funnel, and if there is no customers coming into your funnel at the top, then there's just fewer customers that are going to be getting to the bottom of your funnel. So the fewer customers you have coming into the funnel, the fewer customers you have going out of the bottom of the funnel. So again, this is pretty obvious. You know, you could keep going down this path until your customer acquisition costs are terrible. And again, I've seen this happen many, many, many times. I've even been there myself a couple of years ago because at the time the goal of the business was just getting the clients. All right, and so at the top of the funnel should have a higher customer acquisition cost, and it can be compared one-to-one to the bottom of the funnel customer acquisition cost. What you should be focusing on is the overall customer acquisition cost of the channels combined and figuring out how you can get that to the lowest possible number. And a lot of times it's actually a matter of spending more at the top of the funnel because that pushes the customer acquisition cost for the channels at the bottom of the funnel even lower. All right? So now when we've talked about the paid channels, this is this is, a simplified kind of digital marketing dashboard that you can build. And if you had other paid channels, you could kind of add them in here. The Twitter ads, LinkedIn ads, TikTok ads, YouTube ads, all of those different stuff. But there are the main metrics you want to be focused on. So what about organic customers? Those customers that you're getting for free. So meaning you didn't have to spend even a penny to get them to your website and to make them buy. So those could be coming through search engines, word of mouth, email marketing, whatever. So they came into your website and they brought something, but all right, so pretty obvious thing. Those are conversions that you don't pay for. And you need them to build the digital marketing dashboards. So you need to build the digital marketing KPIs that include those. So here is an example marketing dashboard that shows an overall performance of paid and organic transactions all together in the same place. So let me kind of walk you through how it works. And in the previous dashboard, you see paid purchases, paid revenue, paid ROAS. And right now, I'm saying about the blended things. Blended means paid and organic. So it basically means all sorts of the transactions. So we have the blended ROAS, the blended customer acquisition cost, and all of those metrics are going to be blended. So this is our overall performance. In this situation, we have the numbers from above. $10,000 for Facebook, $5,000 for Google Ads, $15,000 in total in May. Yep. So what you see here is that revenue is 72,000 because we've added the revenue from the other channels, meaning the other types of organic channels that we don't have to spend the money for. And our revenue is higher, and it's because that's just revenue coming from the outside of the paid ads. So in this situation, if we look at our blended ROAS, it's our total revenue divided by spend, so that's 4.8, whereas only the paid ROAS was something like 3.5. So again, this brings in all of our channels, all of our customers, and then to calculate our blended customer acquisition cost, which is critical, we need to look at both our new clients and our returning clients. So again, the customer acquisition cost is the cost to get a new client to buy for the first time. So to calculate this, you're gonna need to remove the returning customers from the organic sources out of all of the customers you are getting. So you're gonna just take the total number of new clients and divide it by the total spend, and that's gonna give you a blended customer acquisition cost of $15 in May. And some of these new clients are coming through organic channels. They're coming through pays, and they have a customer acquisition cost here it's 72 grand in May, right, divided by 960. And you see it's going up because we are sort of, reallocating money to Google Ads, and it's not working because we have sort of shut up the top of the funnel, which ends up not working. So the overall takeaway is this. In order to optimize the lowest overall blended customer acquisition cost, you need to understand how each channel moves people through the funnel. You can't just compare one channel to another if they are doing different jobs. So the rule of thumb is that we have seen at most of e-commerce businesses that at least 60 to 75% of marketing spend is usually spent at the top of the funnel. And then the last maybe 25% or so is spent at the bottom of the funnel. And again, each business is gonna depend, but what I'm basically trying to show you is that prospecting also it looks expensive. Actually, a lot of times lowers your overall customer acquisition cost for the entire business and gets you the optimal performance. So keep that in mind when you're optimizing your business or building your e-commerce team. But you also have returning customers, right? Returning clients are not included in the customer acquisition metric, but this is how you understand how customer lifetime value. You'll understand your customer lifetime value. So what is your customer retention? How much of that revenue is coming back from the customers who are coming back for free? We're not doing any advertising for them. They're just coming back because they like you, right? So you have, on one hand, your customer acquisition, and on the other hand, your customer retention. Those are kind of two main areas of e-commerce marketing. Okay, so now that we have the customer acquisition cost, remember $18. So do we know what is the good customer acquisition cost? So this is where you need to start looking at the customer retention. So the part two, and this is short, but I'm gonna just give you an idea of how to start thinking about this in your company. So the core question is, what is the customer acquisition cost? What is the higher customer acquisition cost where you can still make the money? So this whole discussion is around the customer retention, customer lifetime value, or the LTV. So the higher customer acquisition cost where we can still make money. You can only answer that by analyzing one metric, and that's the customer lifetime value. So the customer lifetime value, or LTV, is the total gross profit that we expect to make from the lifetime purchases on the average customer. So example, let's say that our average customer spends $100 on an order. Just revenue divided by the number of orders or transactions. So that's the average order value, which is called the AOV. And let's say our gross profit or margin is 65%. So the gross profit on our first order is that 100% times 65%, so $65. That's basically the profit that we can make on the order that comes back in the company. Okay, so can we run a business with $120 customer acquisition cost? Can we spend $120 on this customer? Do we make 65 on that first order? Well, we should be losing $55 on the first order, right? Because we spent 120 and kind of we made 65 on the first order. So can we run the business like this? Well, you'd probably say no, but there is absolutely no way to know the answer to this question at this step without understanding the customer lifetime value. So the customer lifetime value calculation is relatively simple. Once you sort this, see what we have here. So let's say you're looking back historically, let's say for the first time purchased since January 2021, and you have 5,000 unique customers. We'll look back at all of their data and we see that we have 14,000 transactions related to those 5,000 customers. Over the lifetime of 2.5 years or so, that purchased 2.8 times. So each customer purchased 2.8 times on average. So our average customer lifetime revenue is 2.8 times 100, our average order value. So that equals 280 in revenue. And our customer lifetime value, again, which is the gross profit from that revenue, is that 280 times 65%, which is 182. So that's what we expect to make on the profit on each customer. So if you know this information, can we spend $120 to acquire a brand new customer? Yes, absolutely. Because you're going to make over $182 over the lifetime of that customer. So we will lose money on the first order, but we'll make it back and become profitable in their subsequent orders. So once you understand this, you can kind of understand what it is a reasonable customer acquisition cost where can we go with our marketing, and how much can we really spend on the business on the digital marketing. And all right, well, I hope you've learned a ton in this training about how to ask the right questions, how to calculate those metrics, and understand the most important KPIs for digital marketing in the real life situations. And you are prepared to take actions because now you know what to look at to make the right decisions. And I want to move you to the next thing. And it is about how you can get the data for reporting. Can you get the data to answer those questions? Where do you get the data? Because you don't want to use the spreadsheets like I did for showing you the numbers, right? You need a dashboard. Basically, you need a set of dashboards, not just one. But before you get to the dashboards, you need to figure out what data is there and how you can get them. And all right, I hope you now understand where I'm moving things, right? I'll tell you how you can do this quickly now, but before I do this, I want to invite you guys on the next training we're going to be hosting in a few weeks from now about how you can quickly set it up, all of your reporting for your business, actually, in just a few clicks. So I'm going to invite my colleague Helen, and we'll do a packed session of about 45 minutes, maybe even an hour, and we're going to be talking about how to keep campaign performance under control We'll talk about the customizable marketing reports in minutes and accurate acquisition tracking. It's going to happen on July 27th, the same time, 6 p.m. Central European, 12 p.m. Eastern. And we are going to have a lot of cool stuff there. And I'll ask my team here to put a link in the chat so you guys can register anyway. And this next session, you can add this to the calendar and don't forget about it. But I can't leave you here with this waiting for a month, right? So what data do you have to collect to build marketing dashboards and really empower your performance with data? So first, data from the advertising platforms. Facebook ads, Google ads, Twitter ads, Bing ads, LinkedIn ads, all sorts of different ads. You'll know the cost data, first of all. How much have you spent on each campaign, on each creative, on each ad set, on each keyword? And then you'll need the user behavior data, your website streaming or website analytics data. You'll need to allocate those sales with the suitable campaigns, with UDMs, marketing attribution, all this stuff. By the way, I was hosting another webinar last month about marketing attribution. As a marketer, for marketers, boring models, algorithmic models, why you need attribution, how to use way more advanced training than this one to actually take the marketing performance, advertising performance to the next level by allocating the revenue to the clicks on your rules. So you don't need to do any manual calculations like we've done in the spreadsheet around the budget. Just make the decisions based on the data, based on your rules. And last but not least, if you really want to take your analytics to the next level, you'll need the sales data from the CRM connected to the advertising data from the sales platform. That would really boost your data accuracy and help you to really achieve the full data clarity. But how do you collect the data from those advertising platforms, websites, user behavior, or the CRM? You have actually two ways here. Sorry, you basically have three ways here. One, you can collect all of those data manually. Every day, download the CSV files, store that in the Google spreadsheets, Excel, whatever you use, then somehow merge and analyze and make some decisions based on that. It's better than nothing. It's definitely better than just guessing about the ads. But I really hope that you guys are smart enough to focus on business actually, on spending time on data analytics rather than manual data collection. Sorry. Now you have the way number two, which I call it distributed or siloed. Okay, so you'll find a bunch of different tools to do the work for you. You'll find a tool to collect the data from Facebook ads, another tool to collect the data from Bing ads, or even you will ask your IT team to write an API, write a code to connect to Facebook ads API for you. And you'll store your data in some databases or even a data warehouse like Google BigQuery or Snowflake or Redshift or Azure, if you're kind of a Microsoft guy. And then you will use Google Analytics 4 as a standard tracker, which is pretty good. And you might not be able to trust all of those Google Analytics 4 data, but that's totally fine if you're just starting. That's better than nothing. And then you'll have to build dashboards, either in Google Sheets or in Power BI or in Google Data Studio, which is Looker Studio now. And what metrics should you include? How should you build those dashboards? And even the more important question is how to prepare those data for the dashboards, because that's not a very easy thing. And you'll again have all of those questions that you don't have to know the answers for. That's not your job. And there is an option number 3, which is the OWOXBI way. Marketing analytics is done within one tool. First, using our data pipelines, our integrations, if you prefer this word more, that takes about 1 minute to set up. You can collect all of the advertising and the other marketing data into Google BigQuery. You'll anyway have to use the data warehouse because you cannot just store everything in the spreadsheets. And if you're really passionate about your business, it's going to be nice to use the data warehouse. And Google BigQuery is the most suitable database for storing the marketing data because you know of the native connectors between the Google services like Google Analytics, Looker Studio for visualization, this stuff. So you'll collect all of those marketing data in one place. Then you'll implement the server-side tracking system that extends the lifespan of cookies, allowing you guys to see the whole conversion journey accurately. Raw data automatically collected into the Google BigQuery account, which really helps you get your website user behavior data that you can rely on, that you can trust on. And we then help you to convert the raw marketing data into insights by using a set of plug-and-play transformation templates. So you can really boost your performance by making the decisions faster. Then you'll get all of those marketing data visualized in the dashboards. Beautiful dashboards designed by marketers for marketers, built by experienced data professionals, just plug-and-play templates. 30 minutes to set up all of your pipelines, streaming transformations, and dashboards. And you'll get all your data visualized. You can get a demo call with our data experts today. Just book a call at owox.com/demo now, and we'll show you how you can get the comprehensive end-to-end marketing analytics set up in really just minutes, so you can improve your marketing and drive ROI. Just one more time, if you really want to take your marketing analytics to the next level, or if you are just starting out, believe me, you'll need a trusted data analytics solution and reliable business partner to improve your marketing performance. Just book a call at owox.com/demo and become data-driven faster. Or if you need help with getting the attribution models built, maybe you need some custom attribution model built for you. Maybe you need to download the data, the historical data from the Google Analytics Universal that's about to be deprecated the day after tomorrow. Or if you just want to speak to data experts and get expert support, just book a call at owox.com/demo. Our vision as the team, as the company, is to empower marketers and acquisition specialists to make better decisions based on data. Just schedule a call to speak with a member of our team, answer your questions, get expert support, try OWOXBI, and transform your data into actionable insights with our help. Thanks for your time, and let's move on to the Q&A time, and I'm here to answer all of your questions if you have. Please type the questions into the chat, and I'm gonna have a slight delay before I actually will see them, so just give me some time to see those questions that you guys are asking. And while I'm waiting for that delay, I'm gonna say once again that you can go to owox.com/demo. You can book a call with a member of our team. You can get expert support, guidance, whatever help you need to work with your marketing data. We are here to help you. Thanks so much again for watching, and I'll see you next webinar in about a month from now, July 27, 6 p.m. Central European, 12 p.m. US Eastern. We'll see you on the other training where we are going to be talking about how to build dashboards, build reports really quickly in like 30 minutes or so, maybe even less, to build attribution models, to implement the accurate acquisition campaign tracking. So that's going to be fun, that's going to be cool, that's going to be useful for you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.